BAFTA did not slip up. They made a choice. Cat Williams said nothing in Hollywood is a coincidence. And after what happened at the 2026 BAFTA Film Awards at London's Royal Festival, we all see why he said exactly what he said. During the live broadcast, a racial slur was shouted from the audience while Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo stood on stage presenting an award. The actors were visibly shaken, yet they continued with professionalism. But here's the real issue. The BBC left the slur in the broadcast. In the same ceremony, pro-Palestinian remarks were edited out, yet a racial slur directed into a room filled with black talent and broadcasted to millions that stayed? That is not a technical oversight. That is a choice. Now, we can debate Tourette syndrome, we can debate intent, but institutions are not powerless. Broadcasters control what reaches the public. Editing is not accidental. Standards are not random. Someone made a decision about what was unacceptable and what was permissible. And let's talk about the timing. The slur rang out while Delroy Lindo was on stage. This is the same Delroy who once confronted white hosts complaining that they could not say the N-word while rappers could. Now, his response was a simple, "So say it." We all remember him saying, "Well, say it." Now, he exposed something in that moment. The entitlement behind wanting access to a word that's steeped in violence and history, the frustration wasn't about language. It was about restriction, about boundaries. So when a slur is broadcast uncensored while he stands on that stage, it feels less like coincidence and more like a message. The boundaries are still negotiable. Now, there is a pattern in how outrage is managed. Political statements get cut, calls for liberation get trimmed, but racial harm, that can be framed as an unfortunate moment, a symptom, a disruption. The impact, however, lands the same. There is a long history of testing how much Black people's humiliation will be tolerated in the name of civility, of seeing whether dignity will be defended or quietly swallowed to keep the peace. The expectation is often composure, grace, endurance. Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo remained professional. They did what they were trained to do. They carried on. But what if the room had not? What if every Black person in that auditorium had stood up, not in chaos, not in anger, but in absolute solidarity and walked out? What if the message had been unmistakable? You do not get to package our humiliation as live entertainment. You see, respect is not granted because you remain calm under insult. It is granted when boundaries are enforced. Institutions do what they are allowed to do. Broadcasters air what they believe they can justify, and lines are pushed until someone pushes back. The slur was offensive, but the decision to amplify it, that is the real story. What I would have liked to see was solidarity. No one is anyone's doormat, and until people stop mistaking endurance for acceptance, these accidents will continue. This was a test.